I didn't see anything pop up on my display, so just want to make sure. Thanks. See you guys in 1 minute. WW7ATS. WW7ATS, WW7ATS, got a good signal. Thank you. Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society back on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, 87CYM. Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts and to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit our video on the 70cm band, cross-band repeater, puts out images at 1.2 gigahertz. Also, we utilize the Seattle Repeater Association WW7STR 08 machine, the 14708 for our voice transmission during our net held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, if you want to find out more about Western Washington Amateur Television Society, Google WW7ATS, that's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage where you will see a listing of the frequencies that we operate on. And also there's a link to streaming on YouTube that we do with our net sales on Wednesdays and Saturdays. With that, I'll take a break in case anybody needs to make an emergency transmission. You need to contact somebody before our net gets put into work. Again, this is Dave, 87CYM. Hearing that, again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. So far, it's been done by video right here live, 7QKU, Bert M7CS, Bob P9DQ, Richard K7ITS, Jim M7QO, James WU7N, and myself, Dave, 87CYM. If anybody else would like to check into the net. Wade said he would be here in a couple of minutes. I'm here, WW7ATS. Well, let's start with the net join and head off to the line. 87CTC.
Okay, good evening everyone. Thank you, Dave. This is KD7QKU in Tacoma. Well, I just looked at the temperature a minute ago. I was outside. I put the car in the garage and it was dropping a little bit of rain or something. It was 46 degrees. It was there and cold outside. I told Richard I thought it was going to snow. But I thought I might be surprised. So, let's see. Yeah, it was a busy week, really. It was my wife's birthday on Wednesday, so we went out to dinner. We went to Ruston, which is just up the road, probably less than a mile. And there's an Anthony's up there, so we went to dinner there with brother-in-law and Joanne's sister. We had a nice dinner. And for her birthday, I had electricians come over and put some can lights in the kitchen over the counter, and then put a light underneath the cabinet. They put an LED strip under there. Pretty amazing little thing. Really bright. Puts out a lot of light. And then our utility, our washer and dryers in the kitchen. We have a table and 4 chairs in the kitchen, and on that end, there's these bifold doors in the washer and dryer and hot water tanks in there. And there's no light, so I had to put a light in there. And then a couple of dimmer switches, one for the dining room light. There wasn't a dimmer on the dining room light. And then while they were here, I had to put a shop light in the shop, and I'll tell you about all that later. So back to that KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, Ron, thanks for that. Let's go to Bert in Marysville, N7C.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone, and it was nice to see everyone today in the business meeting. So we had quite a few people there, so that was good. I had follow-up conversations with Rob and Wade afterwards about the digital testing, and then another conversation with James a little later about some other stuff. So really, really good time today. Let's see. What else? So I've been working on trying to get all my radio gear put into kind of a rack mount system, and I've just been making kind of, slow progress over time. One of the key parts I was missing from that was a rack mountable Astron power supply. I put an order in for one back in September of last year, like September 10th, and it finally came yesterday. So it was only 8 months to get that power supply. Now that wasn't it was a 220 volt one, so it was one. I guess they don't keep a lot of those on hand. And they'd actually emailed me about it like a couple times, saying, "Hey, you sure you really want this? It's going to be a while." And I said, "Yes." And then a couple months later, "Hey, are you sure you really want this? Let us know." And then I didn't hear anything from them for about maybe 3 or 4 months. So I emailed them on Wednesday saying, "Hey, it's been a while. Any news on this?" And they said, "Oh yes, we have one. It's coming to you tomorrow." So I think they kind of forgot about me after a while. But anyway, I got it installed in the rack earlier today. Still need to run power to it and everything to make sure it works. But so slowly making progress on all that. Anyway, more later. This is Bert in Marysville, and 7CS back to that.
7CS, thanks for that, Bert. Let's go to Bob, K9P2.
Okay, I just get my video set up, and I'm going to raise the power on my radio. Hang on. Okay, I'm on high power now. Can you tell me if this makes a difference?
It seems to.
Okay, excellent. Well, yeah, good business meeting today. It was nice to see all you guys, and it looks like I'm getting through better, so I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, not a lot going on. I guess I could talk a little bit about actually what was happening on our last event. My friend had come over, and we played that escape room board game. Because that thing is pretty fun. I've never done a real escape room. I guess they're quite fun to do, and because of the nature of an escape room where they're having to push people through, they're always timed. You're on a very limited time, and you can get hints and things like that. Well, they set this up the same way, but my friend and I chose, rather than restrict ourselves to the time limit and use the hints to just, take longer and try and some really difficult things to figure out, but it was a lot of fun, and I really like that kind of game. So anyway, that's from last Wednesday, and I will send it back to them. K9PQ.
K9P2, thanks for that, Bob. Let's go to Richard, K7ICX.
Just getting some switching squared away here. Let's see. We got one more button to press, and we'll be good to go here. All right. So I guess. Let's see here. Full screen. Yeah. Okay. So it was a well-attended meeting, to say the least, and very informative. And so, from my standpoint, I really appreciated what everybody had to say. And let's see. Ron, that's a great birthday present, actually. I mean, that's fantastic. Now, but now you got me kind of worried. We need a new toilet. And it's not Debbie's birthday. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. That might not go over too good. Just an idea. 87ZYM, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX and ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KB7ZYM. So let's see if Wade's with us. W7ITL.
W7ITL. Well, been a good day. Very nice outside. Little rain here and there drizzling, but the clouds are starting to part, and it's starting to turn out to be a really beautiful evening. Make a few comments here, Ron. That was a really nice birthday gift to give your wife 10 lights, under cabinet lights, and I think you said something about an entryway light. Maybe I got that mixed up. But that was really nice. That was a really good gift. I don't know if I can top that. That's good. Well, let me see. What else? The meeting was really good to see everybody, and it was nice to get to chat with Rob and Bert after the meeting about the digital progression towards the digital repeater. Let's see. I've been kind of fiddling with FT8 today on a few of my rigs. I got the Kenwood TS570 that I bought from Ron that I've been playing with, and also playing with my IC705 over Wi-Fi. It's been fun today. I thought that maybe today I would. I'm not sad, but I'm gonna break for a second. I'm not sad that I still don't have COVID. I did a test right before the meeting to see where I was at, and I'm still negative, and I got my free COVID test in the mail today, like 10 of them. So I'm going to be testing every couple of days, and just to make sure I'm clear, and then maybe I can go back out and do some stuff out in the community and buy stuff, and just I hate being at home. I like being cooped up. So with that, I'm just going to turn it back to Matt, and all right, thanks. W7ITL back to Matt.
W7ITL, let's go to Ken, N7QO. Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Wade, best of luck with the COVID testing. We'll hope that you evade that. That sure would be good. Ron, lots of electrical work, and that certainly sounds like it's going to help things around the house immensely. Bert, congratulations. Sometimes patience is required. It sounds like you had a wealth of patience there, so that's good. Let's see, Dick. I have a potential alternative solution which may be beneficial to both you and Deb. Perhaps you could acquire a bidet, and that may elicit some happy feelings there. Just a thought. Let's see, Bob, we were talking about the escape room. Man, I don't know. Playing the game is one thing on the computer, but how do you do that for real in real life? I've never gone to one before, but you get to a certain age, and your prostate just isn't quite what it used to be. What happens if you're locked in the escape room and you got a tinkle? It's, I don't know, man. I don't think I could do that nowadays. Just my thought. 87ZYM and 7QO.
And 7QO. Thanks for that. That's Peter James, WW7ATS at Bellevue. Okay, I'm trying FL1Q tonight, so let's see if I have any better luck than Lee. I had hail here in Northeast Bellevue an hour or two ago. Little blocks of ice bouncing around on my deck outside. It took me a second to go, what is that? And the temperature certainly is dropping here too. Happy birthday to your wife. Wish her all the best for me there. It just sounded like you had a major power supply victory here, waiting that long. I'm glad it finally came through. But yeah, I do find that you have to follow up on everything. I called my doctor a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, just to kind of say howdy for something that was coming up. All of a sudden they go, oh yeah, she wants to see tomorrow. Wait a minute. If I hadn't called, I would have never known, and the appointment never would have been made. So it was a bit strange. I'm going to pause for a second and ask for a signal report. Sound pretty good, W7ATS. Okay, alright, I just wanted to check to see how AFOs are going, and I'm using a iPhone XR tonight. To see how that goes. Wade, I'm glad your service tests are coming up negative. And I hope you're feeling better soon. My nephew did a real life physical experience thing. I think I maybe mentioned that last week. And actually, Jim, I think you got it wrong. For older people, that's the motivation to get out in a hurry. That's how you find your way out. That's what keeps you going there. At least that's what I thought. Anyway, this is James, WW7ATS in Northeast Bellevue for Western Washington Amateur Television Society. I'm going to turn it back to my next control. Hey, take it away. Thanks for that. WW7N. And let's see. For Jim, some clean ideas you had there. And for Ron, that was a bright idea for his wife, I thought. So, anyway, as I progress along today, it's chilly here in Lake City. I got 45 degrees outside. It seems like it's much chillier. Hanging out to the mailbox about an hour ago. And I thought when I stepped outside without a jacket, but oh my gosh, it was chilly. And I certainly enjoyed the heat in the house when I returned from the mailbox. And I was empty-handed on that. And for the afternoon, I got involved with watching horse racing. And it was kind of interesting. The Kentucky Derby, the 80-1 long shot won the Kentucky Derby, a last-minute entry. So it was kind of interesting to see how that went. The two favorites didn't favor too well. But that's horse racing for you. And this is Dave, 87BYS. So I'll send it back up to Ron, 87CKU.
Okay, well, thank you, Dave. KD72KU here. Well, I have a little bit of video I'll show you here in a second. Last weekend I went to Habitat for Humanity and I bought some cabinets, upper kitchen cabinets, and I installed them in the garage. So I have a picture. So you can see they were oak cabinets. They were about 20 or 30 bucks a piece, and I got 5 of them. The tubeless floors were 24 inches apart in the wall, so that made it difficult. And there's a lower cabinet that has Formica, so it gives me a really nice work surface. And then on the left of that is a wooden bench that had a vise on it. But I'm going to have a nice area. And there's a light that I got over the work area. there's my toolbox, and then that covered up thing there with a towel is my welder, the wire feed welder. To the left of the toolbox is a acetylene welder and a stick welder. And then I taken the shelf out of that cabinet, and I was able to put my vacuum cleaner in it. And that was a big deal because I just don't have a lot of room in there, and that vacuum cleaner was really in my way. So the fact I can get it in that cabinet really made it nice. So I'm a real happy camper. I have all my stuff gathered up in one place now. Today I brought in my chop saw, and I brought in a metal saw which is similar to a chop saw, and then I have my skill saw and a reciprocating saw, and saber saw, and I have a nailer, and then I have a little small nailer. I couldn't find it, but I found it today. It was out in the garden shed, and so my wife has a couple little projects for me to do, so I have my saw, and I have my little nailer, so I'm all set. So back to that KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that, Ron. Let's go on to Marysville to Bert, M7CS.
I think Jessica just joined.
Oh, that's good. Why don't we take Jessica next?
Okay, this is Jessica, KS7UHK, a little bit late to the party today. Let's see, today we sat back and watched an old movie from 1937, a Frank Capra movie, The Lost Horizon, which is not the movie with the music by Burt Bacharach and Hal David, which I actually kind of like more because I like the music and the singing and the color. But this is still a pretty good movie, nice little movie. It was restored a ways back, and there were pieces of it missing, so they put in like still pictures where the film had disintegrated over time. Probably wasn't stored in a proper way. But that was our fun afternoon today. Boy, it's been raining out. Boy, is this still spring? I'm thinking we're going to go into next month and it's going to look the same thing, so we'll see what happens. Otherwise, up here in Everett, this is Jessica, KS7UHK.
KS7UHK. Let's go to Bert, M7CS.
Okay, yeah, the weather has been really bad in Marysville just today as well. Just rain nonstop. I think in the early morning it was actually sunny for a little bit of time, and then like after the business meeting, just rained the whole time. But let's see what else. Ron, yeah, that was a nice video you showed, and yeah, I hope your wife likes all the gifts you've given her for her birthday. So let's say wishes there. And let's see, escape room, yeah, Bob, you were talking about that, the game you had. Well, I've never tried the game, but I've done a couple of real-life escape rooms. I've done one in downtown Seattle, one in India, and then one on a cruise ship. The one on the cruise ship, they purposely do not lock you in because I think they can't do that for various maritime regulations or something. But, and I'm not even sure if they really lock you in for real, even on the land-based ones. I think they may just say that. But I'm not very good at them, but I think they're really fun. So I think I just need to do a lot more of them. Yeah, so, Jim, I don't think you would run into an issue with needing to use the restroom there, but, let's see. Okay, what else is going on? Oh, that another new Star Trek series started this week. Star Trek Strange New Worlds came out. They had their pilot episode. So that was actually pretty good. One of the best Star Trek pilot episodes ever. More or less. So yeah, so I don't know. I've lost count of how many Star Treks there are now. There's probably like the 10th or 12th series now. Or maybe less. I don't know. I'm losing track. But let's see. That is probably good for now. So this is Bert and Marshall and M7CS. Back to that.
M7CS, thanks for that. And it's time to ID again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go to an escape artist, Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, had to get my video switched in there. Well, okay, I've got a couple of notes here. I am writing. So let's see, escape room. Yeah, well, I'm glad that that Bert had actually gone to one because I was I've had it described to me, but haven't gone myself. But the other thing about it, and Bert can maybe give some concrete information on this, is your time is really pretty limited in how long they allow you to be locked in there, because they want the next group to come in. They got to make their money, so it's quite limited on time. And let's see, James got hailed here too, and it was almost kind of a corn snow. You know, it was almost more a little bit snow-like rather than hail. It was very weird. As for the Kentucky Derby, I just can't get into the Kentucky Derby. 5 hours of TV for a 3-minute race. They can't hold my interest that long to wait around for a 3-minute race. But that's pretty cool if it's a long shot one. I would like to hear that. And finally, Star Trek. I have not been keeping up with all the new Star Treks. I think we no longer can have the debate of which is the best series, original or Next Generation, and there are too many others to choose from as well. But there have been plenty of fights over that, you know, which is the best one for us old-timers, original or Next Generation. So, okay, with that, I'll send it back to K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Let's go to Kent to Richard, K7ITX.
The stars are so good tonight. I just get totally engrossed in the interest, and I lose where I'm at in trying to switch people in, including myself. So it's pretty weird, but well, I can't help but think of you know, everyone we're talking about the escape room, and it's really fun in real life. But I swear to God, you know, this is stuff that we had when we were little kids. You know, the Puyallup Fair, and it was called the Fun House. And yeah, there's parts of it that were, you know, pretty, you know, kindergarten-like. But I remember, you know, in first and second grade, my God, you were really trapped in this maze. It's all dark and mirrors, and even Disneyland. I remember Disneyland had a funhouse type adventure where, and it was a lot more elaborate than the one at the Puyallup Fair. It was such that they actually had glass that you would walk into trying to get to the other outside room, you know, and so you know, that was a fun house. That really was. Well, no, I meant to say that was an escape room for kids. Little kids really were trying to escape. But I think the answer to Mother's Day was actually, I kept hearing a commercial for McClendon's, and you get a pretty good discount on a hanging fuchsia basket and a free tomato plant. And so I was pretty sure I was going to be late, though. You know, I was getting that a little bit afternoon, and I figured if you wanted to get a good one, you had to be one of the first. Boy, was I wrong. They had truckloads of these things. They were still taking the wrapping off of them as I walked in. So, oh my God. So anyway, I have my pick of some really nice ones, and that's, you know, that is the gift that keeps giving all summer long. K7ITX, back to gift control.
K7ITX, Richard, thanks for that. Let's go to the film at the wave. W7ATS.
Oh, wow, what wonderful stories tonight. Bert, I am super excited about the new series. I was not aware of the new Star Trek series that was coming out. It looks like it's on Paramount, which I have a subscription to, so I'm going to definitely partake in watching a few episodes, or maybe many episodes tonight on Paramount. Let's see, follow up with Ron. I like the video. Your garage is starting to really look like you're making it your own, and adding all new features like new cabinets, and I don't know if that place where you had your HVAC, your vacuum was being stored. That was a new cabinet too, but it looks like it fit just perfect. So that's good. And then Bob, escape room. I didn't catch if that was you're still talking about that same escape room game from last week, or if this is that you went out to one of those venues where you can do escape rooms. We went to one of those places. We didn't actually do an escape room. We did. Let me play for a second. We did a axe run thing for my birthday a couple years back, but they also do escape rooms there. But I don't remember the name of the place. It's here in North Tacoma, or not North Tacoma, but downtown Tacoma. Maybe I'll remember by the next round. But that is it. I think this was good to see everybody tonight, and I don't know if I'm going to make it the next round, but I'm going to try. I want to try to check in with one more net before I come back, and hopefully I can come back before my turn. All right, well, WW7ATS, back to net. Thanks. Take it back.
WW7ATS, let's go on down the list. Again, M7QO.
M7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, let's see, everyone's talking about the weather, mostly complaining about the weather. We shouldn't be complaining about it. It's kind of strange for this time of year. It was pretty nice at my house today. Definitely cooler than it ought to be. Right now I'm showing 48 degrees. I fortunately did not have any hail and no significant rain. It drizzled for a little while here, for sure less than an hour. It just got everything a little damp, and that was about it. So not too bad on my end of town. Let's see. Bert, I was going to ask you if you knew about the network for the new Star Trek, but it sounds like Wade said Paramount. Just curious if anyone knows anything about the entire series. Are pretty much all of the Star Treks available on Paramount? Or, yeah? Okay, thank you. And let's see. Oh, Dick, Funhouses. Yeah, I went through a whole bunch of Funhouses as a youngster. I tried to always stick behind someone so that hopefully they would get the goblin to leap out at them first or something like that, and they scream, and I kind of laugh at that. It's good when you have someone between you and the critter trying to attack you. But also, you kind of follow them out, so that way it makes it a little less intimidating, let me put it that way. But yeah, that brings back fond memories. Thanks for mentioning it. Back to you, Dave, M7QO.
M7QO, let's go on to James, WW7N.
Thank you, Dave. Well, first of all, Ron, thank you very much for the video. I think you've got quite a deal. To take 20 or 30 places of the cabinets and got them mounted up. That really looks good. They really look good for that. Jessica, let's see, Lost Horizon. Now I'm going to have to go look for that. I was not aware there's two movies of that same title, and so I'm wondering which one I'm thinking of. Anyway, Bob, I just wanted to mention that you're getting a very good picture of Sue tonight, as is everyone else. So I'm like you get her. So anyway, I guess everyone is, but for some reason, Bob, you really have good lighting tonight and good color and everything. Thank you for the pointer on Strange New Worlds. I've seen the trailers on that, but I was not aware when it was going to be coming out. So I'll go out and look for it. I took an actual college course, and I believe the title of it was The Philosophy of Star Trek, and you think this would be like a sort of blow-off course. It actually was quite difficult, because I had never taken a serious philosophy course up to that point, and a lot of other people in fact had. And just to give you an idea,
I will go ahead and put a link down. That is an episode from Deep Space Nine that I did a project on. And in this episode of Deep Space Nine, the theme of it is Commander Sisko, to do the greater good, has to sacrifice, well, just one tiny little misstep of ethics, which of course leads to another and another and another. And it's very well written, it's very well done. The title is a bit odd, but it's worth a watch, and you can easily see how you can make an entire college project out of it, particularly for studying ethics and that 2,000 years. So that might be an issue that people might want to look at. It's a Deep Space Nine issue. Also, my professor seems to feel that Gene Roddenberry had pulled off the coup of the century with the original theory. He got a whole bunch of things past the censor that other people had tried outside of WW studios back then and had not succeeded. The major networks were just too frightened at the time. Keep in mind, this was 1960, as the cities on fire, the Russians were going to attack. There were all kinds of things about ready to happen. And if you look back and read a lot of those original series episodes, approach topics like racism. Some of the actors in that episode are just fantastic and became famous actors as well, seeing before they were famous, they were on that episode. He had not just a woman on the bridge, but a black woman, and he had a Russian on his bridge at the time when the Russians were ready to blow us all up. Anyways, I mean, pretty good bits there. This is James, WW7ATS, in Northeast Studies. Bring it back to you, Dave. Take it away.
WW7ATS, this is Dave, 87ZYM at Lake City. Gosh, I was looking at the background of Jessica's video background, and I was saying it's time to build an ark with all the rain that we've had. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. I don't know how many of you get off the air television. I do. And channel 44-3, Monday through Friday, they have Star Trek on at 8 o'clock. So if you're looking for that off the air, it's good. And then also on channel 44-2, they have really neat old movies from 1935 to 1945. And some of them black and white, some of them early color. It's been kind of interesting to see these old actors that were very young at that time turning out to be very prominent actors in today's movies. It's been a kind of a thrill doing that, and the beautiful photography in black and white that they did back in those days. So this is Dave, 87ZYM at Lake City, so I'll return it back to Ron, 87CKU, with his new shop.
87ZYM in the group, KD7QKU again. Well, Wade, I kind of got all caught up there showing the video, and I forgot to mention, I looked at my notes, I'm sorry that you were sick. I guess I didn't realize you were sick. And we had some extra test kits if you needed one. And of course you can go to Walgreens, you can make an appointment. So we used the home test kits when we were sick, and then I wanted to go to maybe a more professional, so we went to Walgreens to make sure that we were negative at the end. And Bert, I have some questions about your power supply. So it's a 240, so it must have a, right? So it was, you plug it in at 240, and then you can bring 12 volts out and stuff. Okay, we just have a lot of power there, okay. And then the Kentucky Derby, I completely forgot about it. I normally watch it. I like to see the big race and see who wins. And I like to watch it a while to kind of hear the names of the horses and stuff, but I didn't do a thing with it today. Not a thing. And I just would mention that those cabinets I bought came with shells in them. So that was really nice. They had shells. Some of the shells were adjustable, so I could raise them and lower them to fit my junk. And I think it was Wade. Yes, that lower cabinet was here, and the workbench is there. I reworked the workbench. It was a rickety old workbench that the guy had, and I completely reworked it and made it the same width as that lower kitchen cabinet. It was bigger. wider and it's taking up too much space in the garage. I only have the space behind the cars unless I take the cars out. But there's enough room behind the cars that I can go out there and work on small projects. That's nice. You know, what else? Oh, and I saw Sylvia trying to wave hi to Sylvia, so tell her hi, Jessica. Haven't seen her for a while. So I guess that's it. Oh, it's 45 degrees here, and I do think when I went out to get the car just before the nest that little bit of stuff that was coming down was sort of a mixture of rain and ice and sleet. It was really cold outside. All right, back to that, KD7QKU.
87QKU on and ID time one more time. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7UYM for ID. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
KF7UHK. Corn mazes. I was thinking about those. We went in the corn maze and we were happy we got out. We didn't make it through the whole thing, but we made it in. We made it out without having to get lost in them. And they're usually wear boots, bring a flashlight. Yeah, bring a piece of paper to write down notes. Is my clue for that. Corn mazes can be big and wide and muddy. Let's see. There was a William H. Macy movie we watched. It seemed like a friend came over and tripped, fell, bumped her head, and died on his in his living room floor. And then he tried to hide that she died, and it just got worse and worse and worse. By the end of the movie, it's just a frantic movie of him trying to cover up something that was a complete innocent accident in the whole place. But William H. Macy is good for that. I think he was in the movie Fargo, something similar. He was good for that. He's got that face that kind of makes him look a little bit pathetic. And speaking of that, if you haven't seen the show Barry, very fun with Bill Hader. Very interesting TV show. Only about a half hour long each episode. And he's a hitman who is also doing theatric work in a community theater because he likes to do that kind of stuff. But on the other side, he's doing hitman work. And when anybody gets in the way, he has to bump them off too. Excuse me, I had a big cough there. Yeah, two different movies from Lost Horizon. The book came out in 1933. The first movie was 1937, and the second one that had the Burt Bacharach music was 1973. So they're both good movies. I love them both, and I'll sing along with the second one. But people say that almost killed off Burt Bacharach's career as a music writer because people didn't like it so much. But I sure liked it. The music actually was pretty good, and some of it actually made it on the radio and done by other people. But people didn't like it in the movie. And then the last thing I'll say is Star Trek. You know, Captain Kirk is where it's at. All the rest of the Star Treks, I could take or leave, except for most of the movies. Star Trek 4, The Journey Home with the Humpback Whales was my favorite of them all, and I can't remember who directed that. I think William Shatner did, and it's almost a comedy. With that, I'm going to pass it back to KF7 UHK.
KF7 UHK. Now let's go to Marysville to Bert M7CS.
Okay, let's see, lots of things here. So to talk about Star Trek, that just reminded me that, I mean, there's been so many series, and it's been out for so many years. One of the things I got a kick out of was a couple of years ago on one of the episodes of Star Trek Discovery. It started out with like they were having, you know how we usually watching these TV shows and say previously on whatever, like, well, this one started and it's like, previously on Star Trek 54 years ago. And it was really something that aired 54 years ago they were referring to, so just in case you couldn't remember. Yeah, I don't know, it's just funny. And then, you mentioned Fargo, Jessica. I think Fargo Season 5 is coming out sometime this year. I thought it was canceled because it seems like it's been 2 or 3 years since the last season came out. I thought it was surely dead, but it's coming back this year. And And then, yeah, Jim, you asked about which networking. I think you already kind of answered it yourself, but yes, on Paramount Plus, for Star Trek anyway. And James, yeah, that's cool that you had a college course in that. I don't think I ever saw that offered at my college, but then I wasn't usually flipping through the philosophy courses, so I may have missed it if it was there. Let's see. Oh, an escape room. I forgot who asked the question, but it's like, how long do they usually go for? There is a fixed time limit. Each one, depends on the complexity of the room. It's usually either like 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 60 minutes. And if you get stuck, like trying to like get to the next step, usually there's people that come in and check every few minutes to make, maybe every 15 minutes just to make sure you're not like completely stuck. And if you are, they'll give you some hints to kind of keep moving along. And that's probably good for now. So this is Bert and Marysville in 7CS. Back to that.
In 7CS. Let's go down to Bob. P9P2.
Okay, well, I'll try and go fast because I have lots of notes. So Strange New Worlds on Paramount Plus. I have been resisting going to anything beyond Netflix and Amazon Prime, but I'll check into it and see. I thought about Disney. I still think about Disney from time to time, but I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. Richard Fuchsia's, I have a lot of childhood memories. It was our family tradition to get Mom a fuchsia, and I'm told that part of the family tradition was Mom having some peace and quiet from her 7 children while Dad took us all out to get a fuchsia for her on Mother's Day. So, and the fun house as an escape room, I like that. I like that concept. Cool garage, Ron. I like that too. I've done a few things with mine, but yeah, I have a 2-car garage. There's only 1 car in it, so I have a little more room to work with. But I understand about having to, scrimp on space. Yeah, the weather. I think Jim was saying everyone's complaining about the weather, and then the old saying is, but no one does anything about it. And I don't know if we can say that anymore because you'll start climate change debates if you say that probably. There's a T-shirt out. He is a T-shirt designer. His website is Slightly Wrong. Or if you Google Slightly Wrong, you'll find it. And one of them is Spock doing this hand gesture, and it says "Live long and prosper." So gives you an idea of what you'll find on that website. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Let's go on to Richard. K7ITX.
I'm speechless. Just really enjoyed all the stories tonight and the program and the just full participation top to bottom today. So I'll just say 73 to everybody. I don't think it's going to come back around, but because I'm sure you guys are full of more interesting tidbits yet to come. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX. What's these waves available? W7ITL.
I'm still here just for a minute or two. That's how I'll just kind of regurgitate what Richard said. Yes, it's a very good night. Lots of good conversation, lots of good participation in the business meeting that we had today, and lots of good stories. Interesting weather today, and I'll say 73 everybody, and we'll see you next week on Wednesday.
Thanks for that, Wade. Let's go on to Covington to Champ in 720.
In 720. Well, for Wade and everyone else who might be listening, there are what they call test and treat centers. If I'm not mistaken, if you go to covid.gov, you can find that, and so you can get a COVID test there and to my understanding immediately get a some sort of treatment like Paxlovid or something like that. I don't understand how they can accomplish that without a doctor's prescription, but that's worth investigating. It would be good to have some relief from the virus if you get a positive test on that. Let's see. Thanks for mentioning the slightly wrong website, Bob. That sounds kind of interesting. And Jessica, corn maze. Yeah, that's one of those things where you want to carry your cell phone with a built-in magnetic compass, so you can just kind of take a hike across right through everything rather than trying to, if you're desperate to get out. And also Fargo. Thanks for mentioning Fargo. Yeah, there's one thing that really amused me on that. The sheriff is driving down. Okay, keep in mind, I was based in Minneapolis for 7 years, maybe 8 years. And so the sheriff is driving down the road, and the weather is like, it's snowing so furiously that you could just barely see past the hood of the car. And the sheriff is saying, "Oh, what a nice day it is here." And I just cracked up at that. That is so Minnesotan. Let me reset. There's one time I was at the hotel, and I leave in the morning. I'm in the courtesy van along with maybe half a dozen other guys, and it was a truly miserable morning, very similar to that. And in Minneapolis, they have someone, I don't know if it's the city or the county, but they have someone in a little thing that looks like a, I don't know, a little Cushman cart or something with a snowplow on the front of it. And this guy's driving down there. It's not even light yet, but he's clearing off the sidewalk so that people could walk. And one of the guys in the van says, "Who would go for a walk in all this?" And the van driver says, "Well, I went for a walk with my dog this morning before I came here." And we're all just going, yikes. But I mean, it was cold, it was windy, and it was really coming down. And God bless you, sir. That's all I gotta say. Back to you, Dave, on 7Q.
In 7Q, thanks for the chilling story there. Let's go to James, WW7ATS.
Well, thank you, Dave, WW7ATS. If you can set the Wayback Machine to when we actually had papers delivered on doorsteps, I was living in the southeastern part of the country, and there was a hurricane coming in, and the weather was absolutely awful. The wind was, everything was horizontal as far as the wind was concerned, and the doorbell rang ding dong, and it's the paper boy, and he's collecting. And my mom said something like, isn't it a little bit, rough to be out? You should probably go home. He goes, "Are you kidding? Everybody's home." So, it was a great time to collect. Anyway, I can see we're about 7 minutes away from the top of the hour. Interesting story side. Jessica, what did you do for entertainment before Photoshop was invented? I don't know. I don't know. We did something. I don't know how you find these things. But anyway, this WW7, let me turn it back to my red control days. Take it away, Dave.
WW7ATS, this is the 87CYN in Lake City. I'm sort of speechless at this point, and everybody's had such great stories tonight, so I think I'm going to throw it back to Ron, 87QKU.
Gee, thanks, KD7QKU. All this talk about Minnesota. My friend Kim, he was raised here, or California, or someplace, and he married a lady from Minnesota. And so years and years ago, they went back there for Christmas. And he was wearing those polyester pants and things that we had. I don't know if you guys remember, but the wind would blow right through them. And he goes back there in Minnesota, and it was, 20, 30 below and snow. And his description of his few days there until he finally got some warm clothes, his car froze up, and they had to put it in a garage for 10 days to get it unthawed. The grease was too thick in the differential and transmission and everything, and I don't know about the antifreeze and the radiator, but it was just the most miserable trip he ever had in his life, because he was dressed for California, let's say, and he was in Minnesota for Christmas. But he'd have to tell it. It's kind of like John Candy and Plane, Trains, and Airplanes, It was just, it's a hilarious story. He talks about putting this teddy bear, they had a teddy bear in the car, and he put it around his neck for a muffler, because he was freezing to death in the car with the heater, wide open when they're going down the road in the snowstorm. He'd have to tell it, but it's a hilarious story to hear him tell it. All right, you guys, we'll see you later. KD7QKU.
Thanks for that, Ron. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
KF7UHK. I didn't realize there was a Fargo series. I only saw the movie. I only saw it because my mom, who's long gone now, said, "Oh, you gotta watch this movie. It's funny. It's a funny movie." It's like, I watched it. It's like, Fargo is not a funny movie. It's not a funny movie. It was very, very sad. So that's where my mom's head was. I think as she got older, because 6 of us kids, she really got into murder dramas and murder mysteries and CSI. She loved that CSI stuff. I can't handle that. That makes me just want to go hide my head under a pillow. Good stories tonight. And that's really all I have. Photoshop, you just accidentally stumble upon these things, and then you find a vein of them, and then you go mine them out, because I just love the Star Trek ones. I love the behind-the-scenes Star Trek ones with Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock over there eating from a paper plate, looks like bad lasagna or something on the set, and that just makes me just cackle. So yeah, there you go. KF7, KF7.
KF7UHK, let's go to Brit, M7CN.
Oh, I didn't actually think it would get around to me again. But let's see, I was going to say something and I didn't write it down, and now I don't remember. Fargo series, yeah. Jessica was talking about, so there's been 4 seasons of it, and the first 2 seasons of it were very, very good. The last 2 weren't as good, but yeah, the Fargo series is pretty good. Probably, I'll leave it there tonight. So 73 all, this is Bert and Marysville in 7CS, back to net.
Yeah, good. Yes, thanks for that. Well, we got time for Bob, K922.
Okay, well, I didn't prepare anything for this time, but I just will say it's good to hear all you guys, lots of good stories. I do have a couple of winter Midwest stories. I'll just tell one is North Dakota, and we had near blizzard conditions. The only time in my life I've been in near blizzard conditions. I was sent there on business, and I had a hard time explaining to my boss why I couldn't go up to the top of a grain silo to work on some equipment that we had up there. I was sent out there on a service call, and he didn't want me. He wanted me to do it that day. It was a Friday. He didn't want me to have to stay through the weekend and have it cost them more money for me to stay over in a hotel or motel through the weekend. So yeah, that's my North Dakota story. Also, it's Minot, North Dakota, and their town motto is "Why not Minot?" So there you go. Back to net K9PQ and 73, everybody.
K9PQ, and let's go to Richard to wrap up the net.
I'll wrap it up if Bob can switch it. Anyway, gosh, I can only say one thing, and Jessica, your last story about your mom and the movie and your reaction, that, for whatever reason, that hit my funny bone for sure. And I think it did because I kind of experienced the same two emotions in one body myself. That was one of the most unique movies I can remember. I'll never forget it. And I'll never forget your story now. WW7ATS says 73, and back to that control.
WW7ATS, Richard, thanks for that. And it's time to terminate from that. Unfortunately, this is the Western Washington Amateur Society Net. I'd like to thank the Seattle Repair Association for letting us use the 08 machine WW7SPR 147.08 for our voice transmissions for the morning on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave 87 CYM terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.